In the darkest corners of the internet, a nameless, formless entity has been growing. No one dares question where it was created or what it wants, but those who have been entranced by its musings chant its blood-curdling name in unison. Horror Movie Night!
Find Horror Movie Night on your favorite podcasting app or at hmnpodcast.com.
Hey, welcome to Unstable Topics, a fast-paced, jam-packed, unhinged bestie podcast filled with facts, reacts, and made-up games in between.
We're your hosts, Sarah
And Maggie.
and we're excited for you to join our best friend hangout, where we surprise one another with things we find interesting or hilarious just to see how the other will react.
Our friendship might be totally stable, but you never know what your bestie might throw your way to knock you off your game.
So come shake things up, learn something new, and laugh along with us. This is Unstable Topics.
In the darkest corners of the internet, a nameless, formless entity has been growing. No one dares question where it was created or what it wants, but those who have been entranced by its musings chant its blood-curdling name in unison. Horror Movie Night!
Find Horror Movie Night on your favorite podcasting app or at hmnpodcast.com.
Well, there's a party each and every year on Christmas Eve, where the fun and cocktail shrimp don't seem to end. Clark and Ralphie taking turns on the TV screen, laughing, singing, yelling with all of our friends. Well, it's Christmas, and everybody's gonna spread the holiday cheer. 'Cause it's Christmas. Oh, it's the best time of the year. Let's go fake reindeer.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Matt.
So we're here. It is December 27th. It's one day later than we
Yes.
normally do, but that's because you were able to keep the Christmas going for one extra
Yeah.
day, and we'll talk about that.
I received a message from a mutual friend of the show, Sean Ward, also drummer for the Power Pop Philly-based band Cassettes.
Woo!
Highly recommend checking those guys out if you have not listened to them, listeners. She texted me and was like, "Hey, what are you and Teddy doing Boxing Day?" I was like, "Well, usually Matt and I record, but what do you have in mind?" Because it's usually a low-key recording session. We're usually just wrapping up on what's happened on Christmas. What do we want to do? And there's a local like Christmas village type deal. It's called Shellville. It's in Rehoboth, Delaware. And it's put on by like the outlets, and they've got like a toboggan ride a tubing ride that they set up. They've got like a snowball fight that kids can go into and have like with the little felt balls. Like it's really cool. It's
Love that.
they run it through November and December. And they also got like a bar set up and stuff like that, so you can get your drink on as well. So we did that, and I'll talk about that in a little bit as well. But we are here to do our usual yearly Christmas wrap up. How did the day go? What was our favorite thing that we gave? What was the favorite thing that we received? And just kind of talk about our day. So, Matt, do you want to start, or do you want me to go first?
Yeah, I'll start. So it was a weird year this year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was the first year with kids in the house. It was the first year that I got to play Santa Claus, which was...
How was that?
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
My Christmas Eve is chaos
Yeah.
because I work at a church.
Yeah.
And like church is like Christmas Eve is like church Super Bowl Sunday. You know what I mean? Like there's just it's a whole day affair. And Christmas Eve is like Barb's family's Christmas day. Like they do everything on Christmas Eve. So the church that I work at,
You ever listen to this? Because I feel really bad, because usually I'm on here saying that I don't trust anyone who does Christmas Eve stuff on Christmas Day stuff on Christmas.
she'll hear you. That's all right.
Oh, okay. Barb, I'm so sorry.
So the way that the church was structured was that we had a 10 a.m. children's service, which was a lot of fun.
Okay.
12 o'clock traditional service, and then a 7 p.m. traditional or contemporary service, and a 9 p.m. candlelight service. So, and Barb's family had like a giant Christmas Eve party get together at 5. So mathematically, not really doable for me to go, especially with the contemporary service. You need to be there. The contemporary service is like a full band. You got to be there at like 6 to make sure that everything sounds okay.
Like every year, your Christmas Eve is pretty spoken for. Like, sorry, like I'm locked into that church.
Yes,
which makes sense. It's your job. It's what you do.
So I texted the college student that used to assist me for 4 years in the back of the church, and low key found out if he could run the 7 o'clock service for me, so I could surprise Barb by showing up at her family party after she got to her family party.
Yeah,
which I will say is the greatest gift I was able to give this year.
Hell yeah!
Was the absolute joy and delight on her face when I walked in that door at like 5:30, and she was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Oh, I got coverage. I'll be here until at least 7:30." And she like was so excited. And that was really special.
Awesome.
Now I got back to the church afterwards, and they're like, "You can never do that again." They're like, there were so many technical issues. Like, we're so sorry, but you can't do that anymore. And I was like, all right, well, at least I got the one.
Well, I got one and
Christmas
done.
Eve.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I told her like, well, if they keep the same schedule, maybe like we could convince your brother to start the party at 4 instead of 5, and I could at least come from like 4 to 6 or something, and like we'll figure something out. We'll find a way to make.
And
both
thankfully,
of them
you've got 364 days to figure it out.
That's also what I was thinking.
Days. Yeah,
but yeah, like that was easily the best gift. There's no physical present I could give her that would make her smile as much as that did. That being said, the best gift I got was in my stocking Christmas morning from Santa Claus, which was the Night at the Roxbury soundtrack, which is...
Read off some of those hits.
All right, so you got What Is Love, the 7-inch mix from Hadaway.
Yeah. It's just got over and over again.
You got Bam Boogie by Bamboo.
Nice.
You got Make That Money by Robbie Rob's Club World. You got Cyndi Lauper covering Disco Inferno. You've got Rod Stewart featuring Entrance with Do You Think I'm Sexy? Third Party covering pop music. Faithless playing Insomniac. And then here, it's about to get real good. About to get
right.
four in a row of great stuff here. LaBouche, Be My Lover.
Do you want to be my lover?
Amber, This Is Your Night. You know that one, right? This is your night, dancing free until the morning light.
Yeah.
Together forever, boy. Ace of Base, Beautiful Life. It's a beautiful life.
Yeah.
And then and I'll sing the title. No Mercy. Where did you go, my lovely?
Where did you go?
Oh,
so
what a
fun fact,
banger.
Teddy was growing up in Italy in like the early 2000s. So like, of course, this is like a decade or so after Night at the Roxbury, but like Europop was still in fucking sane over there
because it's great.
Yeah, so whenever like I'll bring up like Eiffel 65 and shit, she's like, "Oh, I love this. This was just playing on the radio on a daily basis as I was going to school." And I'm like,
that sounds like
awesome.
Heaven. A little bit of Ecstasy. I don't know this one by Jacqueline Enriquez. What Is Love? The Refreshmo Extra radio mix from Hadaway, and then the closing is a cover of Careless Whisper by Tima.
Tamiya is what it says.
Tamiya, yes, there we go. Tamiya.
But I'm gonna add this down so we can listen to the soundtrack together because I don't own the CD, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I could send you the tracks if need be, but
Sweet.
but to go to your question about Santa, being Santa was kind of cool. While I was at the candlelight service, Barb got all the gifts out, but I rolled in for some eating cookies and drinking milk. You know what I mean? Like I did that
Nice.
whole thing. And then at a separate thing, they had gotten this like Peter, the youngest, got this alphabet fishing board. So it was like imagine like a puzzle board, right? And you've got every letter of the alphabet, but they're all drawn on fish. And they have little magnets on each fish. And then you have like a little magnet fishing pole to like pick up each fish.
Yeah.
So I used the magnet pole to pick up the S and the C and left them with the fishing pole next to the milk and the cookies. And then we got a boot from a friend of ours and shoved it in the furnace. So it looked like Santa Claus had lost his boot.
Or got set on fire.
Kids, we told the kids beforehand, we were like, listen, you do not come downstairs until we come and get you. Like that's our rule. So we set our alarms for 6 a.m. We got up, we woke them up. They seemed to love everything that was happening. And then all of a sudden I said, Jacob, what is in the fire?
Yeah.
And he was like, what? He goes, it's a boot. And like Barb was like, perfect. She's like, oh my God, Santa lost his boot. Logan, her oldest, was like, well, how's he going to get his boot back? And I was like, I don't know, buddy. And then I immediately started texting a friend of ours, a former guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
Santa Joey.
Oh, shit.
And Santa Joey left me this.
Oh, I'm sorry to call you guys on Christmas like this. Usually I'm off to Hawaii, but I got all the way back to the North Pole and I realized I lost my boot. And I've been all over the place. India, I went to England, I took a trip down to South America, and I realized I left my boot at your guys' house. I'm so sorry, but I'll be stopping by tonight after everything's done winding down to pick it back up, okay? And I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and enjoyed all the wonderful toys I brought you. Just keep my boot safe.
That was awesome.
So shout out to Joey for that. That
shout out
calmed
to Joey.
everybody's
That was
nerves.
awesome.
And I have to laugh because her oldest Logan is 9. He's about to turn 10. He's right at that like, do I believe, don't I believe stage. Like it's any day now.
He's like, hey, I watched that live stream. That wasn't Santa. That's Joey.
That's Joe. No, so the funny thing was I had to run out to get some supplies to make breakfast for Barb's family.
Yeah.
And as I'm leaving, Barb is taking a photo of the boot in the fireplace to send other people. And her oldest goes, you got to get photographic evidence of this. Like this, you can't fake this. He was really here. And I was like,
so the opposite. He's like, bro, we've figured it out. Why hasn't everyone else just done this? Like,
it was a really magical time.
That's
unfortunately, Amazon.com. Actually, no, it wasn't even Amazon. Etsy has really, really failed me on multiple rounds so far. 2 of my gifts for Barb were canceled the day before Christmas with a refund.
So, and I think the unfortunate
and another
thing
just
about
hasn't
that
shown up yet. So
is a lot of those people are sending shit on their own. Isn't like Etsy like people running their own businesses and shit? So that's the problem is like if you're ordering from different stores, you're kind of taking the chance with every single one of those stores, unfortunately.
Yeah, so I can't even tell too many stories of Barb opening gifts and feeling great about it because a lot of them still haven't gotten here yet.
Yeah.
The one that I'm really excited for, and God, I hope that it shows up before this episode comes out, is she loves It's a Wonderful Life. It's her that is like her Christmas movie, and that's her Christmas tradition is after all the chaos of Christmas, she sits down and watches It's a Wonderful Life when everyone else has gone to bed.
Yeah.
Which is great because that was also my Christmas tradition. So like
hell yeah.
Before we knew each other,
it makes sense because it's like 3 hours long, so it's a good rock you to sleep movie.
2 hours and 10 minutes, or show some respect. But it's a very nice sweater. It has a very nice sweater
Yes.
that says, "Do you want the moon? Do you want the moon? I'll get you the moon."
Yeah.
So
that.
I'm excited for her to get that hoodie at some point between now and January 4th, according to the delivery notice.
2026.
Yeah, sometime soon. The other gift that I got her, she loves One Tree Hill, and I got her a T-shirt that's from One Tree Hill. That's the stoplight that says "People always leave." I'm not sure if you've watched One Tree Hill or know anything
No.
about that, but it's
I've
like
seen a
the
couple
main
episodes,
the
but
main
that's it.
character wears this shirt that she made all the time. And Barb, when we were watching One Tree Hill, she said, I used to have that shirt and I lost it. So I like bought it and I was so excited. And then her parents came over. We agreed that we would do our gift exchange after all the Christmas crazies was over.
Yeah.
And then her parents came over and her mom bought her the exact same shirt from the exact same person. So it's like, great. The only gift that has shown up in time to give you on Christmas Day, someone has beat me to the punch.
Is the gift she already had.
Yeah, I was like, yeah. So it was a little rough on that end, but I will say Barb did crush it on Christmas gifts. Like I said, I mean Santa gets all the credit for Night at the Roxbury. That was in my stocking.
Yeah.
But she got me this really cool statue of the two volcanoes from the Lava short. The Pixar shirt.
I love you.
Yeah, and it just says "I love you" across the front of it.
Yeah.
And then she got me a Haunted Mansion cardigan and Haunted Mansion pajama pants.
Sick.
So I'm rocking those pajama pants for New Year's Eve.
Oh, fuck
when
yeah.
They're
Hell
they're so silky and soft and I'm not a big pajama pants person, and I'm like regularly, but it's been 2 days. I've probably worn them 4 times. Like it's
Fuck yeah,
it's
man.
just
You need to embrace
anytime-
the pajama pant. Nothing is better than a pair of pajama pants, bro.
It's not that I don't like the pajama pants, but I'm very particular on this is gonna sound weird. I'm very particular on the temperature of my legs. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah,
like I
I
don't
get
ever
that.
want them too cold, but I also don't want them too hot. And I don't like to feel claustrophobic. Like I don't like when the jeans are super tight. But these are just they literally look like, think of a Scrooge type character wearing pajama pants like that, very thin, very loose and free pair of pants. I'm like, oh, these are fantastic.
I just want to put this out there to our folks listening that 90% of the time, if we are recording Saturday morning, I am recording in pajama pants.
See, and 90% of the time I have already woken, showered, and gotten fully dressed and ready to rock in a pair of shorts.
He is completely nude, the bottom half of Matt Kelly.
I'm Winnie the Pooh in it, actually, over here. Here, I'll show you now.
Oh, God, no!
But it was, all in all, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I'm missing. But that was really it. My parents gave us just very generous gifts.
Yeah.
And I think today, right after we finish recording, I think we're going to go to a mall nearby and just have a day. We're going to check out the sales. It'll just be us. Cause usually when we go to the mall, we're there with the kids.
Yeah.
And the kids just want to hit the food court and hit the Lego stores and all the toy stores. But we wanted to have hey, let's go and I can go through the bookstore and I have a little bit of money I could spend at the bookstore and just kind of have a nice
you can relax.
Yeah, just a layback day. I have one more recording today in the afternoon and then nothing today. So we're let's just order trashy food and play video games in the basement for the day. Just fully decompress.
Nice.
Lazy day. So
hell yeah, man.
I'm excited. I think it's going to be I consider that still part of the Christmas.
Yeah, dude. We are to me, we are still in the midst of it.
Yeah.
This is our wrap up of the main day and kind of the month in general, but I'm still in it, man.
I don't know about you. To me, I hit Christmas so hard out the gate on November 1st that the second that It's a Wonderful Life ended, I was and now I'm tapped out on Christmas movies. Yep. I'm my new thing, which is an impossible task. I was going to try to watch every Golden Globe nominated movie before the Golden Globes next Sunday. That is not possible.
There's don't do that.
So instead, what I did was I did write down the list of everything that I haven't seen yet and where I can watch it. Anything that's not readily streaming available, I'm like, all right, I'll just have to figure that out if it gets nominated for an Oscar, because I do like to try to see the Best Picture nominees for the Oscars. Like, and then I was just like, which of these actually entice me? So I have a list of like 6 or 7 movies I'm going to try to watch before the Golden Globes, and like a couple TV shows that I still haven't watched. Penguin, still haven't watched Baby Reindeer. Like, these are like shows that are nominated
Teddy
for like multiple awards.
Baby Reindeer, and
I
Penguin
think that's going to be
good.
today and
We're
tomorrow.
like 3 episodes in of Penguin, and that's been really good too.
Yeah, like I'm like, but these are all like, thankfully they're like 45 to an hour long, like 10 episode series that I can just like knock them out. So it's going to be like, I'm going to try to do a few of those before on Geekscape on January 2nd, time to be determined. We're going to be doing a Golden Globes predictions video. And I was like, I have not seen nearly enough stuff. So I wanted to at least like, watch
those
enough
are the things
stuff to bring something to the table.
Those are the things that you're like, Dylan, do you want to jump in on this? And I'm like, I bring nothing to this conversation.
So something that I think I'm going to do, and we're going to give you a little behind the scenes, and then I want to hear all about your Christmas, buddy.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think in the next day or two, I'm going to get a Patreon account launched for the Geekscape YouTube channel, which, side note, at the time that we're recording this, we are 4 people away from 5,000 subscribers.
Yeah, send it to your friends.
And the most recent uploaded video is a 2-minute video of Dylan and I running around a Spirit of Christmas. That will tie to next week's episode. So there you go. Next week's episode is going to be our review of the Spirit Christmas that we went to.
Yeah.
But I plan to launch a Patreon account for the YouTube channel specifically. I think last time I tried to launch a Patreon for the entire network, and it was like biting off way more than I could chew. But I think just doing something as simple as donate to the Patreon, and you'll get access to a private Discord channel, and you'll get the videos early. And then what I'd love to start doing, if we're going to be doing more of these prediction videos, is putting up polls about like, what do you think will win Best Picture? And like part of that predictions video can be us analyzing the Patreon's votes on like what they think is going to be the outcome of certain things as like an element of the discussion and reading comments and all that stuff. So
hell yeah.
If any of that sounds cool, visit the YouTube channel, Geekscape
see
TV
us more
on
in
YouTube.
a visual medium.
And I'm sure there'll be a link for the Patreon, but I'm hoping that it's available to just get patreon.com/Geekscape TV. I'm hoping that that's not been taken.
Yeah, just keep an eye and ear out on all of the Geekscape podcasts and Geekscape as a whole, and you will see that link coming up periodically.
And Dylan,
yeah,
one last thing before we jump to your Christmas, I have to give the biggest thank you to all of the people who checked us out this December. I have kind of kept you in the dark a little bit.
Yeah.
We did 3 times the amount of downloads this December that we did last December.
Oh my gosh.
Almost 60,000 downloads in 1 month for our little goofy Christmas podcast. So
that's amazing to hear, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like to know that. That's wild.
And to know that one of you went to TeePublic and purchased the shirt, Dylan could quit his job as a teacher temporarily.
Temporarily. Emphasis on the temporarily portion. Oh, no, my benefits are pretty good.
Hey, welcome to Unstable Topics, a fast-paced, jam-packed, unhinged bestie podcast filled with facts, reacts, and made-up games in between.
We're your hosts, Sarah
and Maggie.
And we're excited for you to join our best friend hangout, where we surprise one another with things we find interesting or hilarious just to see how the other will react.
Our friendship might be totally stable, but you never know what your bestie might throw your way to knock you off your game.
So come shake things up, learn something new, and laugh along with us. This is Unstable Topics.
Are you a fan of young adult novels?
Have you ever wondered the stories behind the people who wrote your favorite young adult novels?
Then join author Eric J. Brown
And Alyssa Lube of Netflix's The Circle.
every other Tuesday on YAOK.
Available on all podcasting apps.
Woo!
That's wild. Thank you. If this is your first time listening to us this season, because I feel like most of our listeners do jump in around the holidays, they catch up. I always love to hear like what is the episode that's really hitting. And
well,
it's
I can
always
tell you that
funny.
too.
Yeah, what is it?
This
What is
year,
it this year?
was all Dylan episodes.
Yeah.
All Dylan episodes. The number one,
Yeah.
I think it was 15,000 people this month listened to the Justin Bieber Christmas album episode alone. Like that was
Yeah.
a huge chunk of it. Christmas Every Day did insane numbers for us. The
Really?
ABC Family movie.
Yeah.
The Aquabats Christmas album did huge numbers for us. And not surprising, the NSYNC Home for the Holidays episode. Those were our four episodes topped the entire Geekscape network top 10 for the month of December.
If I can
and-
ask of our listeners, of our brand new listeners that have joined us this season,
Please stick it out.
yeah, it's like do me a favor, and even if you just choose one a month, a lot of our off-season episodes are a little wild, a little crazy, and they're a little shorter.
They're a little
So, like,
short, and we have some fun stuff, I think,
we
planned.
do.
We're trying
We
to
have
get
some fun
guests.
stuff planned.
We're going to try to get guests. We're going to try to do more video component stuff. So I know one of the ideas we kicked around was like ranking all of the live action Santa performances that we can think of.
And I think we could we could pull that off. I think
Yeah.
we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Fun stuff that we've already recorded as well that will be coming your way based
Dude.
on the newer stuff that has dropped this season. But
There are
yes,
at least
like,
2 episodes coming out in January or February that I think are among the funniest episodes we've ever done. So like definitely
yeah.
stick it out. Like there are some stuff that we watched that was bad, but boy did we have fun talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Like-
So like that's the thing. If you're disappointed as much as we are, like not to spoil some of our views, in 2024's crop of Christmas specials, come listen to us talk about it because we definitely make it just a tad more enjoyable. But yeah, try to stick it out with us through the rest of the year, or into next year. And like seriously, I'm at a loss for words. 60,000 downloads on this little rinky-dink podcast that we like sign on just to keep that Christmas spirit in our hearts.
And to keep us in touch with
every
each
week.
other too.
It
like
does. It does. And
but Dylan,
and-
I have actively stayed away from knowing anything about your Christmas. So
yeah,
tell
it's-
me about your Christmas, my dude.
all right. This month flew by, man. Like
Boy,
this
did it.
month went by so quickly. And I think I blame that on the late Thanksgiving that we had.
Oh.
Like we really had zero turnaround time between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
It was psychotic how quickly you had to just like shift into Christmas mood right after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't mean like you and I are ready for Christmas at the beginning of October. I feel like we're like, yeah, it's Halloween season, but in our heads we're like, yeah, but guess what's right around the corner, brother? But between Thanksgiving and Christmas is when you've got to like buckle down, and it's not all like I get to watch all my favorite Christmas movies. It's Christmas is coming. I got to get some shit done. Like I gotta get stuff prepped. I have to buy stuff. I have to make stuff. I have to make sure things are taken care of. So the month of December really flew by to the point where I feel like my December, for the most part, was low key, busy, but low key. Like we weren't hitting a ton of different Christmas events this year. Leading up to Christmas Eve, honestly, once we got off school, we spent basically 3 days just vegging out and just recovering from what was the 2 weeks of hell. Because the kids were done after Thanksgiving, and the kids were like,
Yeah.
bro, we got 3 weeks till break. Why are we even here? And I would look at him and be like, bro, we got 3 weeks till break. Why are we even here? And so we're just trying to get through whatever the book that
Just
we're reading.
the Christmas Carol, Mr. Feeney style, dude. Like that's all
the
you
Christmas
do.
Carol is covered in 7th grade, which makes me upset every year because I don't get to teach the Christmas Carol, but they get it.
I
next
say
year.
fuck it. Throw it and say, hey guys, we're
We could do it every
re-teaching
year.
you.
Yeah, this is Christmas is yet to come.
Yeah.
Which is next year when you read this again. So Christmas Eve was very low key. We honestly sat around. I rapped on Christmas Eve. I definitely pushed it off a little late this year. The day before Christmas Eve, I went out and picked up just a few last minute things. Christmas Eve wrapped and we watched 2 movies. We watched The Yule Log 2 on Adult Swim. Are you familiar with The Yule Log on Adult Swim?
I'm familiar with the Yule Log. I've never watched either of them, but I'm familiar with them.
I highly recommend them. I think you'll find them just as goofy and entertaining, and they're both like 90 minutes a piece. Go with the first one, and then if you like it, watch the second one. If you don't like the first one, don't watch the second one. You're not going to like it. And then we watched, do you remember, it might have been last year, that Shudder movie, Christmas, Bloody Christmas? Or is it Bloody Christmas?
No, the Shudder one that I watched last year was It's a Wonderful Knife, which was fine.
Yeah, this is 2022, Christmas, Bloody Christmas, directed by Joe Begos. And the reason this one stood out to me when it first came out was because it has Jeff Daniel Phillips, who's in a bunch of those Rob Zombie movies. He's the guy with the big bushy mustache, longer hair. Shorter hair. I don't know how else to describe this man. Jeff Daniel Phillips. You look him up. You'll know who I'm talking about.
I'm going to look him up now because I feel like I've heard that name, but I might just be thinking of Jeff Daniels.
Yeah. I think you'll know exactly who I'm talking about when you pull him up.
Jeff Daniel. Also, sir, like if your name is Jeff, I definitely know this guy.
Him and Jeremy Gardner, who he did that movie, The Battery, the 2 baseball players that are stuck in the zombie apocalypse, and he also has the movie After Midnight. Highly recommend both of those. He's one of my favorite creators, but he just acts in this. And we also have Abraham Ben Ruby pops up as our Santa. Now, this movie was horrendous. This movie's really fucking bad. This movie has great slasher kills. It's set up as just a goofy bad slasher movie, which is awesome. But Matt, all of the dialogue are like fake horror conversation dialogue. Like, oh, we're talking about The Hitcher? Not that shitty 2008 remake. We're talking about the original Hitcher. Like that's what it is. It's like the bad know-it-all people. Like all of the characters are hipsters. All of the characters are way into like very well-known punk and very well-known horror movies. So it's weird that they're having these like nerdy conversations. It reminds me of, there's a line in Riverdale that Jughead eventually says, where he goes, "You remind me of one of the people from Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors." And I'm like, whoa, sick fucking reference, bro. You just had to name the entire title of the movie, so we didn't not know what the reference. That's kind of what the dialogue was of Christmas, Bloody Christmas. The main characters are absolutely just, they made me want to tear my ears off. But we finished up Christmas, Bloody Christmas, and I think I'm starting to have a new appreciation for just bad Christmas horror movies. So I'm excited to continue with that moving forward. Christmas Day, I slept through the whole night, which is like one of the first times I've done that in a very long time. I actually set an alarm for 6 a.m. Because our couch is a little different now. We don't really have a couch per se. It's more like 2 like reclining love seats that are attached together with a center console.
Yeah.
So for those of you who listened last year, I usually set up a spot on the couch to sleep next to the tree because I'm a child.
Yeah. But now
I
this
did not-
couch has ruined that for you.
Exactly. This fucking couch has ruined it for me. So I set an alarm for 6 a.m. Was really mad at myself because I did force myself out there. Even though at 6 a.m. my alarm's going off, I was like, I could just lay here. Like,
Yeah, I could just stay in bed.
is Christmas magic that important to me? And I was like, yeah. So I crawled out there. Teddy comes out at 8 and we start ripping through some gifts. Something I got from my mom a couple days before Christmas is this super sick, like, Krampus Starbucks cup that somebody had, like, or a company had made. They put these like chains around it that kind of puff out. It's like a puff paint, and it's the Starbucks logo, but it is Krampus as the Starbucks logo.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
rips, actually.
Christmas happens, and in the morning, Teddy and I are exchanging gifts, and that brings up probably my favorite gift of the year receiving, and that is this Hero's Journal. I'm showing you. Even
you sent me that. That is fucking awesome.
A visual like tour. Sorry for our audio listeners, of course. But what it is the box has basically like the design on it, and then on the back it kind of describes what it is. And on the inside is an actual journal, and the Hero's Journal is basically a motivational journal disguised as a solo role-playing game. So every day you have your daily quests that you need to complete. You set your own goals. For those of you who don't know, I don't usually get into it on the podcast. Like every year I really do struggle like with my physical health. I really need to start eating better again and start getting out there and exercising again. And a lot of the physical health struggles start to affect my mental health, as they do. Like, that's a normal thing. Like, take care of yourself, people. But I really struggle with my own personal motivation. So I'm really looking forward to using this to help. And I just love that it's set up as like a game. And something to keep track of. It's the Hero's Journey is a 91-day productivity journal designed to transform your goal into an adventure. So I'm super excited to break into that. A lot of my other gifts were very practical. I got a new car this year. So
nice. I mean, that's a pretty big deal. You'll hear about it in the next week's episode when we write it.
Teddy bought me floor mats for the new car, a heated seat cover and stuff like that. So I'm super excited for that. My favorite gift that I gave this year has to be when I was little.
Gift of entertainment to 60,000 people.
Yes, the gift of Christmas entertainment to 60,000 people. Again, keep listening to us. Don't go anywhere. This show is just as good in April as it is in December. It really is. Some
would argue better.
Yeah, I honestly think so, because the like the bit of trying to tie it back to Christmas is always so much fun. Yeah. So my favorite gift that I ended up giving was Stevie and I, my sister. When we were younger, my mom would always take us to get pictures done. We'd do like the Sears thing, the JCPenney thing. So there's pictures of me holding her as a baby. There's pictures of me when I'm like 16 and she's like 5. So what we did is we got together and we recreated all of those pictures. We paid for a session at JCPenney, recreated all of those pictures, put them in a giant frame, and we gave that to our parents for Christmas. And seeing their faces just light up, seeing these pictures, and we gave them the extra ones and the digital downloads and stuff, and being like, well, here's the original. And here's this one. And it was so much fun to not only give it to them, but to plan and do something with my sister, like where we're hiding it from folks. And we're like, hey, we're just going out. We're just going to do a thing. That was a lot of fun. That's my favorite part of Christmas, is figuring out that super cool thing and then having to wait weeks and weeks to reveal that thing. It just makes you feel good. It was a overall low key Christmas. No complaints. No complaints. Nothing
Nor
insane.
should you have any.
No insanity. Nothing crazy. But I feel like that's kind of been a running theme over the course of the last few years, is like Christmas has been low key, and I like it. And I think it's because the insanity of life for 364 of the other days of the year of the past like decade, that like Christmas has been like, yeah, it's been pretty low key. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
This is not low key for me this year.
no, it's not low key for you this year. But you also you have a lot of change. There's a lot of change that happened in the house. Not bad, not negative.
There's
Positive
change
for
that's
sure.
happening as we're recording.
Is there? Is everything
Yeah.
okay?
It seems like we have the kids an extra night, so the very exciting low key Friday hang is no longer an option. So. But you just roll with the punches.
You just
figure
roll
it
with the
out.
punches. It's gonna be okay, man. You're gonna have a good day. You guys can still play video games. You just might have a little children there as well playing video games. Teach them how to play Final Fantasy VI.
All right, sounds like a plan. I'll make that work.
There you go, man. I hope you had an amazing Christmas, Matt. I hope all of our listeners have an amazing Christmas. If you're gonna stick it out with us this year or this coming year, I can't wait for you to hear what we have planned. If you're gonna be one of those people that don't come back until September, we cannot wait to have you back. But please do us a favor, stick us out, share, like, subscribe, whatever you need to do. Buy a TeePublic t-shirt. The season's greeting shirts are great. The Christmas 365 shirts are great. We are in talks with some buddies of ours. We should have new shirts coming in the new year, and I'm very excited to see those. But yeah, stick it out with us and keep Christmas in your heart 365 days of the year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, whoa, oh, oh, now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Happy holly, have a great, great, great holly, have a merry, 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 happy holiday.
In the darkest corners of the internet, a nameless, formless entity has been growing. No one dares question where it was created or what it wants, but those who have been entranced by its musings chant its blood-curdling name in unison. Horror Movie Night!
Find Horror Movie Night on your favorite podcasting app or at hmnpodcast.com.
Hey, welcome to Unstable Topics, a fast-paced, jam-packed, unhinged bestie podcast filled with facts, reacts, and made-up games in between.
We're your hosts, Sarah
And Maggie.
and we're excited for you to join our best friend hangout, where we surprise one another with things we find interesting or hilarious just to see how the other will react.
Our friendship might be totally stable, but you never know what your bestie might throw your way to knock you off your game.
So come shake things up, learn something new, and laugh along with us. This is Unstable Topics.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.